Hi friends, Juan the Yarn Addict here bringing you a tutorial on how to create the Yarn Addict cancer cap for kids. And so this is what the finished product looks like. And so there are 15 rounds from the top to the brim, and the magic number here is 48. Now, I used the stitch wheel to come up with the stitches. So during the most recent live, I had help from the viewers on choosing stitches to put on the wheel. We spun that wheel and we have 5 stitches here. So I'm going to turn this around and show you the 5 stitches. So first and foremost, we have windows. So all I did was I took the moss stitch and just made little windows because we're making a little project. And so after that, we have twins in the windows, which the wheel came up with the V stitch, and this is just my interpretation of it. Next we have half double crochets, and then next we have 3 peas in a pod, which is also known as the granny stitch. After that we had user's choice, and so I chose the single crochet to just give the project a finishing touch. Okay, so I worked this up with a 6.5mm crochet hook, but I also worked the same exact project up with different hook sizes. So let me show you. So this is a 6.5mm, this is a 6, and I used hot pink for this particular beanie here. And it's slightly smaller, not by much. It's the same brand of yarn. This is also Loops and Threads Soft Classic. And then I went even smaller. I went ahead and used a 5.5mm crochet hook, but I used different yarn. So I used Picasso yarn from Ice Yarns, and I paired that up with a 2-weight acrylic yarn in the colorway Aqua. And so because this was naturally smaller, I did not have to go all 15 rounds. I think I only went 12 rounds. So these are the 3 different beanies here, but the one that we are creating is this one right here. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this tutorial started. Okay friends, so for today's tutorial, we are going to need a pair of scissors, we are going to need a darning needle, we are going to need a crochet hook, and yarn. So for this particular project, I am using a 6.5mm crochet hook, otherwise known as a letter K, and I'm going to be using a medium 4-weight yarn. This yarn here is Loops and Threads Soft Classic in the colorway Safety Orange, and that's pretty much it. This project is going to work up super fast, and this is all you need to get started. So to get started, friends, what we need to do is create a slip knot on our hook. So however you do this is absolutely fine. This is how I do it. From here, what we need to do is chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. From here, we need to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert into the first chain, drop a loop, and slip to close. We're going to take our tail and pinch it against our chain here, tug very gently on our working yarn, and pull apart, and you will see a circle. This is the circle that we will be working our project out of. So from here, what we need to do is chain 2. Now the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, it elevates us to the first round. And now in the first round, we're going to work 8 half double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, go into our circle, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And we're going to repeat that 7 more times. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once you have your 8 half double crochets, just space them out nice and neat. And what we're going to do is close out round number 1. We're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch. We're not going to pay any attention to the chains there. We're going to go into that first stitch, picking up our front and back loop, just like that. We're going to grab our yarn and slip to close. just like that. And that concludes round number 1. Okay, so to start round number 2, what we need to do is chain 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch, it elevates us to the round. And from here, what we're going to do is insert 2 half double crochets into every stitch of the round. So in round 1, we had 8 half double crochets. For round number 2, we need 16 half double crochets. So we are going to do twins in a stitch, half double crochets. So twin half double crochets, we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch we just came out of, drop a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 and do a second half double crochet in the same stitch, just like that. Okay, so we're going to repeat that all the way around, 2 half double crochets in every stitch for round number 2, for a total of 16 stitches. So continue doing this, 2 half double crochets in every stitch of the round, and I will meet you right here at the end of round number 2. Okay, so once you have verified that you have 16 half double crochets, so 8 sets of twins, you should look like this. Okay, so what we need to do now is close out round number 2. We're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and go all the way over here to our first stitch. So you're going to see the chains there. They don't count towards anything. We're going to go right into that first stitch, draw up a loop, and slip to close, just like that. And that concludes round number 2. To start round number 3, what we need to do is chain 2. And again, the 2 chains does not count as a stitch. It elevates us to the round. Okay, so the repeat for this round is 1 standalone and twins in a stitch, 1 standalone and twins in a stitch, all half double crochets. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch we just came out of, drop a loop, yarn over and go through all 3. So that's the 1 standalone. And now next door here, we're going to do twins in a stitch. Yarn over, go in, drop a loop, yarn over and go through all 3. And do that again in the same stitch. And so again, the repeat for this round is 1 standalone and twins in a stitch, 1 standalone and twins in a stitch. So I'm going to do one more section here with you, and then I will leave you to it, and I will meet you here at the end of round number 3. So we're going to do 1 standalone, half double crochet, just 1 stitch in that stitch there. And next door here, we're going to do twins in a stitch. So let's do a half double crochet here, and then half double crochet right in that same stitch. Okay, so one more time, the jingle goes 1 standalone and twins in a stitch, 1 standalone and twins in a stitch. So continue doing that all the way around, and I will meet you right here at the end of round number 3. Okay friends, so I just came to the end of the round here, and I have a total of 24 stitches. So round 1 was 8, round 2 was 16, round 3 is 24. Okay, and you should have ended with twins in a stitch. So to close out the round here, round number 3, we're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the very first stitch. We need to pick up the front loop and the back loop just like that. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close. And that concludes round number 3. To start round number 4, what we need to do is chain 2, and as always, these 2 chains does not count as a stitch. Okay, and the jingle for this round is 2 standalones and twins in a stitch, 2 standalones and twins in a stitch. So let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to do a standalone in this very first stitch that we just came out of. There's 1, and here's 2. So there are the 2 standalones. And next door here, we're going to do twins in a stitch. So 2 half double crochets in that same stitch. 2 standalones and twins in a stitch. Let's go ahead and do that again. Standalone number 1, standalone number 2. So 2 standalones, and now twins in a stitch. So this next door neighbor here will have twins in the stitch. And there you have it. Okay? So 2 standalones and twins in a stitch, 2 standalones and twins in a stitch. So continue doing that pattern all the way around here, and I will meet you at the end of the round, which is round number 4. All right, and you should have a total of 32 stitches. Okay, so I shall see you in just a few seconds. Okay, friends, so I am approaching the end of round number 4. Okay, and this is what we're looking like here. You should have ended with twins in a stitch, and you should have a total of 32 stitches. And so what we need to do now is close out the round. So in order to do that, like before, we need to insert the tip of our crochet hook into the first stitch of the round. We need to make sure that we pick up the front loop and the back loop, draw a loop, and slip to close, just like that. And that concludes round number 4. Okay, friends, so to start round number 5, what we need to do is chain 2. And as always, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And so we're going to go ahead and move on here to 40 stitches for the next round here. So round number 5, 40 stitches. And in order to get 40 stitches, what we need to do is 3 standalones and twins in a stitch. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do a half double into the very stitch we just came out of. Just like that. And then we're going to go next door here and do another standalone. Just like that. So there's 2. Let's go ahead and go next door here and do another standalone, half double crochet. So 3 standalones and now twins in a stitch, 2 half double crochets in the same stitch, just like that. So let's go ahead and repeat that one more time. 3 standalones and twins in a stitch. So 1, 2, and 3, and then next door here, twins in a stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so again, the magic number for this round is 40 stitches, and to achieve that, we need 3 standalones and twins in a stitch. So continue doing this in the round here, and I will meet you right here towards the end of the round in just a few seconds. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, friends, so here I am at the end of round number 5. I have a total of 40 stitches in the round. And like previous rounds, what we need to do is close out the round by going into the very first stitch of the round, picking up the front and the back loop, just like that. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. So that concludes round number 5. So to start round number 6, what we need to do is the same thing we've done in previous rounds. We need to chain 2. And as always, that does not count as a stitch. It elevates us to the round. And for this particular round, which happens to be the last round we do our increases, we need 48 total stitches. Okay, so in order to achieve that, what we need to do is 4 standalones and twins in a stitch. So we're going to insert a half double crochet in the stitch we just came out of. So there's 1. Let's go next door and do another one. That's 2. Let's repeat that. 3 and 4. So 4 standalones. And now twins in a stitch next door here. Got 1 there. Let's do another one in that same stitch. So 4 standalones and twins in a stitch. Let's repeat that pattern one more time. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 standalones. And now twins in a stitch. 1 and 2, right back into that same stitch. Okay, so continue doing this, and I shall see you at the end of the round right here in just a few seconds, and you should have a total of 48 stitches for round number 6. Okay friends, so here we are at the end of round number 6. I have a total of 48 stitches in the round. And so, like previous rounds, what we need to do to close out the round is go into the very first stitch of the round, draw up a loop, and slip to close. And so that concludes round number 6. So for round number 7, we are going to do a round of windows. So because we are making a small beanie, we're going to be doing small windows. So we are going to be doing the moss stitch. So to do that, we're going to chain 1 and then go into the stitch we just came out of with a single crochet. So you're going to go in, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through both of those loops. Single crochet. From here, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip 1 and go into the next stitch with a single crochet. Just like that. We're going to repeat that. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, go into the next stitch with a single crochet. And we're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around the round here. And it should look like that. Many, many windows. Okay, so continue doing this. It's single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Just continue doing that, and I will meet you at the end of round number 7 right here in just a few seconds. Okay friends, so I'm nearing the end of round number 7, and we have the moss stitch, also known as mini windows, just like that. Okay, so for round number 7, you should have 24 single crochets and 24 chains. Okay, so I have 24 single crochets, and now I'm going to do the 24th chain, and that's what it should look like. From here, we need to insert our hook into the very first stitch, picking up the front and the back loop. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. Okay, and that concludes round number 7. Okay friends, so for round number 8, we are going to be doing the V-stitch, also known as twins in a stitch, depending on how you work it up. So to get started, what we need to do is jump over to this very first chain space, okay? And so to get there, what we need to do is insert our hook into that chain space, drop a loop, and slip to close that. And so now we are in that chain space. So from here, what we need to do is chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And that does count as a double crochet. Okay, once again, that does count. So from here, we're going to go back into the window with a double crochet. So yarn over, go into the chain space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And that is the very first set of twins, otherwise known as the V. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into the next window here and insert 2 double crochets. Just like that. We're going to go into the space, do another double, and it should look like this. Okay, let's do one more. So 2 double crochets in the chain space. Okay, so we are inserting twins in every window of the round. And if you have to, use your thumb and your finger to feel your way around the window there, just so that you know where to insert your hook. Okay, so let's do one more just to be sure. So yarn over, go into that window right here, and do a double, and then go in there and do one more. And it should look like this. Okay, so continue doing this for round number 8, and I will meet you right here towards the end of the round in just a few seconds. Okay, I'll see you in just a few. Okay, friends, so I am at the end here of round number 8, where we have done twins in every window all the way around. And so to close out round number 8, what we need to do is go into that third chain. You have 1, 2, and 3. That's what we started the round out with. So we're going to go into that third chain, draw up a loop, and slip to close. Okay, and so that concludes round number 8. To start round 9, what we need to do is chain 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch. It elevates us to the round. And for the round, what we're going to do is a half double crochet into every stitch for the round. So we're going to yarn over and go into the stitch we just came out of and do a half double crochet. We're going to go next door here and just insert a half double crochet in every stitch of the round. The magic number is 48. So make sure you have 48 stitches for round number 9. And it should look like this. So continue doing this, and I will see you over here at the end of round number 9 in just a few seconds, okay? Okay, friends, so here I am at the end of round number 9, and I've inserted half double crochets into every stitch of the round, making sure that we have a total of 48 stitches all the way around. And so to close out round number 9, what we need to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into the first stitch of the round, picking up the front and the back loop. We're going to draw up a loop and slip to close. And so that concludes round number 9. So to start round 10, what we're going to do is move on to 3 peas in a pod, otherwise known as the granny stitch. So to start, what we're going to do is chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And this does count as a double crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to be working into this stitch that we just came out of, and we're going to go ahead and insert 2 more double crochets in that stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and we're going to do that one more time. From here, we are going to skip 2 and go into this third stitch right here, and we're going to insert 3 double crochets into that stitch. We're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, do a double to start, and we're going to do 2 more double crochets in that same stitch. And so from here, the repeat is we're going to skip 2 stitches, go into the third stitch with 3 stitches. So the jingle goes 3 stitches in every third stitch. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 stitches in the third stitch. So let's go ahead and do our first double. Let me get more yarn here. Let's go back in and do 2 more double crochets, just like that. And this is what we're looking like here. Okay, so continue doing this, and I will see you at the end of the round, round number 10, right here. And we're going to make sure that we're doing 3 stitches in every third stitch. Okay, 3 doubles in every third stitch, just like this. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay, so continue doing this, and I'll see you over here in just a few seconds. Okay, friends, so I'm nearing the end of round number 10, and you should have 2 stitches remaining, which we're following a trend here. We're skipping every 2 stitches. So to close out round number 10, what we need to do is insert our hook into the third chain. So we started the round out with 3 chains here. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3 insert our hook into that third chain, draw up a loop, and slip to close, just like that. And that concludes round number 10. Okay, friends, so to start round number 11, what we need to do is chain 2. So the 2 chains does not count as a stitch. And for this particular round, we are going to do half double crochets in every single stitch of the round, starting with the stitch we just came out of. So we're going to yarn over and go in, drop a loop, do our half double, and we're going to do that to every stitch of the round. 1 half double crochet in every stitch, just like this. Okay, so continue doing this, and I will see you over here, which is the end of round number 11, in just a few seconds. Remember, every stitch half double crochet. Okay? Okay, friends, so I am coming to the end of round number 11, where we've done a half double crochet in every stitch of the round. Okay? So to finish out round number 11, what we need to do is insert our hook into the very first stitch of the round, picking up the front and the back loop. We're going to draw our loop and slip to close, just like that. So to start round number 12, we are going to do a round of windows again. So we're going to repeat this down here. Okay, round number 7 is now going to come up here to round number 12. And so what we're going to do is chain 1 and go into the stitch that we just came out of with a single crochet. From here, we're going to chain 1 and skip 1 and go into the next stitch with a single crochet. And that's what we're looking like. So from here, we chain 1, we skip 1, and go into the next one with a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. So continue doing this, and I shall see you at the end of round number 12 right here, where we should have single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, the moss stitch for this round. Okay, I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, friends, so I am nearing the end of round number 12. I have a chain here to go over the last stitch of the round, like that. And to close out round number 12, what we need to do is go into the very first stitch of the round, picking up the front and the back loop, drawing a loop and slipping to close, just like that. So from here, what we need to do is go over into the chain space that we've created, the little window. Let's go into that window, drop a loop, and slip over. So now we are working out of the window right here. Okay, so from here we're going to do twins in the windows. Okay, we're working with a form of the V stitch, which is right here. Okay, so for round number 13, we are going to start the round with 3 chains, and the chains will count as a stitch. From here, we're going to work back into that window with a double crochet. Let's go in and do our double crochet, just like that. And from here, we're going to hop right on over to the next chain space and go in with 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and there's 2. And we're going to repeat that for the entire round, inserting 2 double crochets in every window, twins in the windows. Okay, so continue doing this, and I shall see you at the end of round number 13 right here in just a few seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, friends, so I am at the end of round number 13, and this is what we're looking like so far. Very, very nice. Okay, so to close out round number 13, what we need to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into that third chain. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to insert our hook, draw up a loop, and slip to close, just like that. So to start round number 14, what we need to do is chain 2. 1 and 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch. It just elevates us to the round, okay? So for round number 14, what we're going to do is insert a half double crochet in every stitch of the round, okay? So let's yarn over, go in, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 like we've done before. So every stitch will receive a half double crochet, just like this. And this is what it looks like, okay? So continue doing this, and I will see you back here at the end of round number 14 in just a few seconds, okay? Okay, friends, so I am nearing the end of round number 14, and I've inserted half double crochets in every stitch of the round, as you can see here. So to close out the round, what we need to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into the first stitch of the round, draw up a loop, and slip to close. And so that concludes round number 14. So to start round number 15, what we need to do is chain 1. Now this is the last round of our project, and so for the last round we are just going to insert a single crochet in every stitch of the round, including the stitch we just came out of. So we're going to insert our crochet hook into that space, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through both of those loops, making a single crochet. So we're going to do that to every stitch of the round. One single crochet for every stitch, and this is what it should look like. Okay, so continue doing this, and I shall see you at the end of our project, which is right here in just a few seconds. Okay, friends, so I've made it to the end of round number 15. Okay, and so I've inserted a single crochet into every stitch of the round. And so to close out round number 15, what we need to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into the very first stitch, picking up the front and the back loop. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close, just like that. Now from here, what we're going to do is knot this to secure it. So we're going to chain 2 to form that knot, and then I'm going to grab the scissors, and we're going to cut about 4 or 5 inches away from our project. And we're going to take our crochet hook and pull away from our work. We're going to grab that yarn, pinch, and pull down. And you will see a nice tight knot there. That's not going anywhere. So now what we need to do is sew in our end. Let me just back the camera up. And let's grab our needle. And so what I like to do is turn the work inside out, just like that. Now I'm going to do a zigzag technique. I'm going to go back, 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 just like a letter Z. So we're going to yarn over the eye of our needle, pinch nice and tight directly underneath like that. Pull the needle out, feed it through, and it should look like this. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and go in between the yarns and the fibers, just like that. Okay, no rhyme, no reason, just go wherever you need to go. Pull this down, and you're going to see this knot fold over. That's what you're looking for. See how that folds over? That's what you want that to do. Okay, once you have that, you can now go back and continue feeding your needle through the fibers of the yarns, going in the other direction, just like that. Okay, and use your fingers to flatten that out. You don't want it to buckle. And then finally, we're going to do a final pass going in the direction we started, going in between the yarns and the fibers. It will hold your knot a lot better, just like that. Let's pull that through, nice and tight. And let's pull that out like that. we're going to grab our scissors and trim this just like that. And then finally, we're going to take care of this. So all we need to do here is pull on that tail nice and tight to close out that hole. So let's pull that nice and tight, just like that, and trim. Since we've crocheted over that, we don't have to sew anything in. There we go. And so there we have it. So let's fold this back over and take another look at our project. Very, very nice. So this, my friends, is the Yarn Addict Cancer Cap for Kids. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you get to make a lot of these to help out a lot of the kids out there. And so if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and then hit those notifications to stay updated with everything regarding me and my channel. It's been fun, friends, and until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.